Failure. It is the word that most people run from, the shadow they avoid, the storm they hide beneath. But failure is not your enemy. Failure is your mirror. It is the most honest teacher you will ever meet. It does not flatter you, it does not lie to you, and it does not spare your feelings. It strips away illusions. It tells you without mercy, this is where you are weak. This is where you must grow. History has proven this truth again and again. Thomas Edison did not discover the light bulb by avoiding mistakes. He found it by enduring thousands of them. Each failed attempt was not a loss. It was a blueprint, a lesson carved into his mind. Eliminate what doesn't work, and you will discover what does. Henry Ford went bankrupt twice before the world would drive his cars. Abraham Lincoln lost election after election before he ever won the presidency. Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination before building an empire on pure imagination. You see, the most dangerous mistake you can make in life is not failing. It's refusing to begin because you fear failure. You will never know your strength until you've been tested. And you will never be tested in comfort. You grow from your own failures because they tear apart the false identity you cling to, the one built on easy victories, inherited confidence, and borrowed belief. When you fall, when you're humiliated, when you're forced to face the fact that you are not yet who you thought you were, that is where transformation begins. The man who has never failed is not a man who has succeeded. He is a man who has never tried anything worthy of success. The woman who avoids risk to protect her ego does not protect her future. She abandons it. When you stumble, you are standing at a crossroads. One path leads to excuses, bitterness, and retreat. The other leads to adaptation, hunger, and growth. The path you choose will define not just your success, but your character. And here is the paradox. You will never walk the second path by accident. You must decide to see failure differently. Instead of a grave where your dreams are buried, you must see it as a forge, a place where the fire of difficulty shapes the steel of your will. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? You must ask, what is this trying to make me into? Napoleon Hill wrote, every adversity, every failure, every heartbreak carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. But that seed does not grow on its own. You must water it with discipline. You must protect it from the weeds of self-pity. You must nurture it with relentless action until it bears fruit. This is why you cannot simply read about success. You cannot simply study the habits of great men and women and expect to inherit their results. You must live through the trials that demand those habits. You must earn the mental toughness that others admire from a distance. Failure is your personal battlefield. It is where you meet the part of yourself that has never been tested. It is where you discover that the real enemy was not the obstacle in front of you, but the hesitation within you. It is where you learn that confidence is not a feeling you wait for. It is the reward for surviving the fight. Do not wish for fewer failures. Wish for the strength to extract more wisdom from them. Do not wish for a smooth road. Wish for stronger legs, a sharper mind, and a heart that refuses to surrender. Every stumble, every setback, every defeat, these are not detours from the path. They are the path. And the sooner you embrace this, the faster you will grow. Because here's the truth. Success has never been about avoiding failure. Success is built by those who are willing to face failure again and again, until failure itself gets tired of knocking them down. Every great story of triumph is a story of endurance. When the world said, "You're not good enough," they stayed. When the door slammed shut, they knocked again. When the storm came, they learned to walk in the rain. Carnegie was a poor boy in a factory. He didn't inherit steel. He built it one failure at a time. Oprah was told she didn't belong on television. She didn't just belong. She became the standard. J.K. Rowling had her manuscript rejected by 12 publishers. Today, that same story lives in the hearts of hundreds of millions. What do they share? Not luck, not privilege, not an easy start. They shared persistence. The courage to look failure in the eye and say, "You are not the end of me. You are the beginning." You grow from your own failures because they strip away the illusions of instant success. They force you to recognize the price of mastery. They reveal the gap between who you are and who you must become, and they give you the exact blueprint to close that gap. Every failure whispers, "Here is your weakness. Here is the skill you need. Here is the discipline you lack." And most people, they turn away from that voice. They pretend they didn't hear it. They bury themselves in distraction, in comfort, in excuses. But the rare few lean in. They take that message and they work on it relentlessly until the weakness becomes a strength, until the gap becomes a bridge. The truth is, your failures are the most personal mentors you will ever have. They are tailor-made for you, not for anyone else. The lessons they hold are unique to your journey. You can read books, attend seminars, watch motivational videos, and all of that can guide you. But the deepest growth will come only from the bruises and scars you earn yourself. Think of a sword. Steel is strong, but before it becomes a weapon, it must be beaten by the hammer, burned by the fire, and plunged into the cold. Again and again. That is how the blade gains its strength, its edge, its resilience. You are no different. Life will hammer you. Life will burn you. Life will throw you into the cold. Not because it wants to destroy you, but because it wants to prepare you for a battle you do not yet see. There is no comfort in this process. You will be misunderstood. You will be doubted. You will be laughed at. You will watch others succeed faster, and it will tempt you to quit. But remember, fast success is often fragile. The tree that grows overnight is uprooted by the first storm. The tree that digs deep roots through years of wind and rain. That tree stands for generations. And this is why you must not rush your failures away. Learn from them. Study them. Let them refine you. Because every time you rise after falling, you are no longer the same person who fell. You are wiser, stronger, sharper. And one day, you will look back and realize that the pain you hated was the architect of the life you love. There will come a moment, and it will come, when you are standing in the middle of a victory you once thought impossible. And you will remember the nights you almost quit. The mornings you rose when there was no reason to. The failures that broke you open and rebuilt you from the inside out. And you will understand, finally, that every single one of them was worth it. And here's the part they don't tell you. Failure will visit you more than once. It will not be a single mountain you climb and never see again. It will be a chain of mountains, each one taller, each one steeper than the last. And that is not a punishment. It is proof that you are moving forward. The challenges you face today are the training for the opportunities of tomorrow. If life only gave you the tests you were already prepared for, you would never grow beyond the person you are now. Edison did not stop after the first light bulb. Ford did not stop after the first Model T. Lincoln did not stop after freeing the slaves. Each victory only revealed the next battle. This is where most people break. They believe that success should be the end of struggle. But Napoleon Hill understood something deeper. Success is not the end of struggle. Success requires struggle. It is born from it, shaped by it, dependent on it. Without the resistance, you become soft. Without the obstacles, you lose the hunger. Without the failures, you forget what it took to rise. You grow from your own failures because they force you to keep earning the right to advance. You cannot pay for tomorrow's victories with yesterday's effort. You must rise every day with the willingness to fail again, to be humbled again, to learn again. And here is the dangerous truth. If you shield yourself from failure, you also shield yourself from greatness. If you protect your ego from being bruised, you also protect your potential from being built. Every time you avoid a challenge because it might end in failure, you are telling life, "I am satisfied staying here." And life will oblige. It will leave you there. But if you run toward the fight, if you embrace the discomfort, if you stand in the fire long enough to understand its heat, something extraordinary happens. You stop fearing failure altogether, because you realize failure is never final, it is only feedback. Think of the men who built empires from nothing. Think of the women who broke through barriers the world told them were unbreakable. Their victories were not born in moments of applause. They were forged in silence, in nights of doubt, in seasons where the only person who believed was themselves. They carried the weight of failure on their backs and kept moving forward until that weight turned into wings. You will have your season of silence. You will have your nights of doubt. The question is, will you endure them? Will you take that blow, stand back up, and take another? Will you lean into the lessons instead of hiding from them? Because if you do, there will come a day when the world will look at you and call you lucky. But you will know the truth. You will know that your so-called luck was built on a foundation of failures no one else was willing to face. And in that moment, you will understand why the pain was necessary. You will know why the doors had to close, why the people had to doubt you, why the plans had to collapse. Because without them, you would not have been sharpened. You would not have been ready. And so I will tell you this: do not just endure your failures. Honor them. Welcome them. Invite them to teach you. Because the same force that knocks you down is the force that will raise you up, if you let it. And when that moment comes, when the weight of failure presses on your chest and whispers that you are finished, you will have two choices. You can surrender, hand over the pen, and let life write the final chapter for you. Or you can take the pen back, slam it onto the page, and write, "This is not how my story ends." You see, every failure is an invitation to rise higher than you did yesterday, an invitation to prove not to the world but to yourself that you are more than this moment. The world will never remember you for the days you played it safe. It will remember you for the days you stood tall when you had every reason to stay down. Do not waste your pain. Do not bury your mistakes under shame. Turn them into bricks and build the foundation of a life so solid that no storm can break it. If you were betrayed, let it teach you loyalty. If you were rejected, let it teach you resilience. If you were humiliated, let it teach you humility. This is how failure transforms you. It takes what could destroy you and turns it into the very reason you cannot be destroyed. Look at the greatest victories in human history. They are born from people who refuse to be broken. The Wright brothers crashed more times than they flew, yet they gave the world its wings. Nelson Mandela lost 27 years to prison, yet he came out unshaken, ready to change a nation. Helen Keller could not see or hear, yet she spoke to millions without saying a word they could hear, because her life was her message. Your failures are your training ground. Your scars are your credentials. They say, "I have been tested, I have been broken, and I have rebuilt myself." There is no university on earth that can give you that degree. Only life can. So when the next blow comes, and it will, do not flinch. Do not ask for it to be lighter. Ask for your shoulders to grow stronger. Do not beg for the road to be smoother. Ask for your feet to grow surer. Do not plead for the challenge to end. Ask for the courage to see it through. Because one day, you will look into the eyes of someone who is where you are now, confused, hurting, ready to give up, and you will be the one to say, "I know the way. Follow me." And they will follow, not because of your words alone, but because your life will prove you have walked through the fire and returned carrying light. And that is why you grow from your own failures. Because the struggle is not just about you. It is about the lives you will impact, the doors you will open, the hope you will ignite in someone else who thought they were finished. So stand up, face forward, take the hit, learn the lesson, and move again. Because there is no victory without the fight, and no greatness without the fall. Don't forget to like and subscribe.